So this is your heating header tank. If you have a look, the water level is very high at the level of the overflow. Now this overflow should be fitted below the level of the cold water inlet, and they are about the same height, so that it doesn't look to me that this has been fitted correctly. It's not that much of an issue, but it can cause a leak here, and it's actually a contravention of the water regulations, as water from the heating system can in some instances enter into your cold water supply in the house, and contaminated water can get into your drinking water supply. It's quite unlikely, but it can happen. That's why it's important to have this overflow at the correct height. And the tank looks relatively new, but this ballcock has been letting by. As you can see, the float is underneath the water. Now, can you see all the brown? That's all sludge from your heating system. Now this can cause damage to your pump and to your boiler, and cause your heating system to be inefficient. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and get some of this muck out before we put in the new float valve. So your cold water mains comes down through this pipe into this valve. So if we turn this valve horizontally, it'll turn the water off. If we turn it vertically or parallel to the pipe, it'll turn the water on. Then it'll go into the ballcock, through the back of the ballcock, and then up and over the top to fill the tank. And we got the ball on the ballcock, and as the water level rises, the ball will float up, and then the arm will push the hammer in and stop the water coming out of the top. Now we've taken apart the old ballcock. You can see the arm, the back of the arm will push the hammer in, which, if we have a look, is a plastic like this, and then we have a washer which sits inside here. Now if we have a look inside there, water will be able to flow directly in and out through here, then out to the top to fill the tank. But once the arm rises, it'll push the hammer into the washer, and we can see the little indent on the back of the washer. So it will push the washer in, and it will cover this hole to stop the water coming through. Now over time, the washer will deteriorate, as we can see this one has. You can see the black marks on my finger, which will allow water to pass through here. So even though the arm is up, it's pushing the washer over the hole, water can still pass. So that's why your tank is overflowing. So this tank is supplying your radiators and boiler, and we call it the feed and expansion system. So we've got the cold coming in to the ballcock, we have the overflow, and we have an open vent and what's called a cold feed. So as water gets heated up in your heating system, it needs somewhere to expand. So we'll expand up and down inside this tank. And if we ever need to fill the heating system, the ballcock will fill the system automatically. So as the water level drops, more water will come in through the ballcock, and any air in the system will come up through the open vent and over into the tank. If there's a fault situation, water can also, or steam, will also be able to safely travel over the open vent. The water's filling now, and we can see it's nice and clean inside this. The sludge has been removed, and we're just going to wait for the water level to fill. Now you've got another tank up here. This is your cold water storage system with two outlets. So this will be supplying your hot water cylinder and cold outlets in the bathroom. These outlets should be, the hot should be higher than the cold to prevent scalding should this run out, and they're both at the same level, so that's not correct. And also the inlet, the ballcock, should be the opposite end of the tank as the outlets to prevent stagnation. And also it should have a a sealed lid with any correct fittings with screens on it to prevent any dirt or any insects getting into the cistern. And we can see we got a cleaner end up here and a dirtier end. That's because these have not been fitted to the opposite ends. Rather, the water's coming in here and going straight out, and it's leaving water to stagnate at the other end. You can see there's quite a lot of limescale in here. It's what to be expected of a tank of this age. So when you run a hot tap, water will flow from your hot water cylinder downstairs, and then the hot water cylinder will be refilled by the water stored in this tank, and then the ballcock will drop and allow water to flow, and then once the tank is filled, the ballcock will stop. And you can see now the ballcock was stopped in this tank. I've left plenty of room for expansion. So I hope you found this video useful.